for clicking on this brand new video. My name is ItzMariaVicz and I appreciate you returning to see another video, or if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on it for the first time. I hope that you are looking forward to seeing what we speak about on this video. First things first, I did want to say I don't have my glasses on right now. I can't find them in the house. I can't really see accurately if I'm in focus or not, and so if I am, I do apologize. Hopefully it's not for a long duration of the video, but I did want to just mention that because in case I suddenly squint or whatever, that is that reason. I either usually have my contacts or my glasses, but like I said, I can't find them anywhere, at least my glasses, and I don't want to wear my dailies today because I'm only filming right now and that's about it. But before we get started on this video, I did just want to say thank you once again for clicking on this video. It means a lot to me that you guys are coming back, or if you're a new subscriber, it does mean the world to me when you guys come back to see my other videos time and time again, and so it makes me really happy because it makes me feel fulfilled with the content that I'm putting out, and especially with the new announcement, I suppose, of the channel content that I will be putting out here. It does mean a lot to me when people do dedicate their time to watch my videos, leave a comment, share and such, and so I just want to say thank you once again, especially for this holiday season. Like I said, it's Christmas. Besides the toys that are decorated in the background, you can see that it's Christmas time, and I am really grateful for this time of the year, not only for you guys, but obviously for our Lord and Savior for being born. Jesus Christ is the reason for the season, so let's just remember that in our hearts and in our minds, and whenever we interact with people, let's just remember that the way that he acted towards people, especially the least of us, is really how we are to be treating other people. And so I hope that this video not only reminds you of your goals, which is what we're going to be talking about today, and giving yourself grace, but also pushing for your goals and motivating yourself to hit those goals, but that you do everything in terms of social interactions and even giving yourself some grace, just like the Lord gave us a lot of love, eternal sacrificial love. God bless you guys. And one last thing, if you guys are new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe down below. I would love to see your little face or your little name pop up if you ever leave a comment and such, and so if you want to stay tuned for whenever I post a video, please make sure to subscribe down below, and make sure to ding the little notification bell so you're updated as to every time that I upload a video, instead of just once in a while whenever YouTube feels like letting you know that I did my thing. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the video. So as you guys saw from the video title down below, I will be talking about my 2025 goals. Specifically in this video, I will be talking about my interpersonal, my health, and my social goals for myself and for my social circle. If you guys are new, or if you haven't heard the word from the streets, I did open up a new channel called Maria Talks Money. I'll link it in the description box, but I'll also put it somewhere here on the screen. That way you guys can get the visual and go subscribe to that channel. I did start that channel with the focus of personal finance and financial literacy. As I mentioned both in the videos there and also in the description box of that channel, I am not a financial expert or licensed advisor of any sort. I'm just a girl who has finances, just like everybody else who is an adult, and a working adult at that. I just kind of want to share my journey as I go with you guys on that channel, and I didn't want to put it over here because money stuff doesn't really relate to the content that I put on here. And so if you guys are curious and are interested in watching that stuff and checking me out and supporting me in another channel, please make sure to go to that and you can go subscribe. I would love to see you over there as well. And so my financial goals will be on that channel for the new year. Although I'm filming still in 2024, it's probably going to be the first video or one of the first two videos that I post over there. And so if you're looking forward to not only listening to my personal goals here on this channel, but you also want to see my financial goals for the 2025 year, please make sure to check it out. Without further ado, finally, let's get into the video. So I have my little planner here. This is the 2025 planner that I got at Staples. This is specifically the Cambridge brand. Definitely not sponsored or anything, but I typically go for calendars, and this is obviously up to personal preference to everybody, but I go with planners that typically have the tabs here on the top with a monthly view. I know some people like the daily view only, some people like the weekly view, and some people only like the calendar view of every single month. I went ahead and decorated it with some stickers that my friend Nashua, shout out to Nashua, all the way in California, she sent me some stickers a while ago, and so I just went ahead and put those there on my 2024 planner, like the last remaining couple of weeks, and then also for the 2025 year, I just put the stickers wherever they fit. I decorated it and such. I also put some notes here already, and as mentioned, I will be going over my 2025 goals for this year. I did start writing these in November 11th. I do like the habit of writing your goals down, because if you just mention them at the beginning of the year or at the end of the previous year, you kind of sometimes lose track of where your goals are and such, and so to have them down concretely, I feel like it really helps putting the vision onto paper, and it gives it some tangibility in order for you to be able to accomplish them. And so that's what I do every single year. I've done it ever since I feel like 2018 or something, when I was still in school. I feel like even earlier, but definitely for my social, my interpersonal health and all that stuff for about 4 or 3 years now. And the first time ever that I'm actually doing, I'll just cover the top part because it has some people's names and such, but the first time ever, if you guys see the bottom half of the page will have a mid-year check-in. So instead of sticking to a goal that I set to myself in January, and I feel like in March or April is really not working, but having to stick to the goal no matter what until December, what I will be doing is a mid-year check-in and adjust the goals that I have for myself in 2025. Let's say that a goal of mine were to be to make $20 $20,000 a month, let's just say that, and then I'm only making about 12K or something like that, then clearly by my mid-year check-in I should be adjusting those numbers so I don't get disappointed for myself at the end of the year. It'll be more reflective of the accuracy of my goals based on the past 6 months, aka from January to June, so then July to December of 2025 can be a little bit more accurate and, you know, less disappointing for me. What's the saying? If you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars or something, kind of like that. Anyways, let's just get started with my goals, and I hope that you guys do definitely go ahead and start your own goal writing tradition, whether that's on paper, whether that's digitally on your iPads or your calendar or stuff like that. I hope that regardless you do write down your goals and this is able to inspire you, and let me know down below in the comments your top 3 goals for the year. It could be in a particular department or area that you want to improve on, or it could be one per category. So for example, like I said, I have weight and health, I have interpersonal, and then I have social, so it could be one goal per category, or you can make your own category. Let me know downstairs in the comments. I would love to hear them. And actually, I did forget to mention, part of making new goals for the new year is also reflecting on the past year's goals and such. So I did also have my agenda from last year that I did want to go ahead and reflect on the goals that I had for this year and just kind of look back. This is probably going to be like a longer video. I'm going to see how it is in editing, and let's just reflect on the goals that I had for myself. So for 2024, my personal and my health goals, my number 1 goal was, once you establish a routine, get back to going to the gym at least once a week. That did not happen, and only because financially speaking, I just can't afford a gym, to be honest. I do have weights at home, and I do still go on my walks continually, morning and afternoon, every single day, to walk my steps into school and pick them up and such. School is like right around the corner, so I do an extra 20 minutes out of my way to be able to do that. Maybe I'll do like pop-up classes here and there, but we shall see in 2025 goals what I have written down. And again, this is just reflecting on the past year and how that didn't work. But anyways, moving on to goal number 2, I said continue therapy and journaling your thoughts. I would say that this was a successful goal attained. I feel like I started therapy back in September of 2023, and I continued all the way here until December, and so I've been doing that. Finances have been a little bit tough, like I said, so I've been doing it less frequently. However, I am still doing it. Journaling, I am actually doing 3 journals. A journal for my personal thoughts, so like catharsis of me writing down my thoughts when they're bothering me and my emotions are a little bit too high. I write everything down whenever I do remember, because sometimes I don't have my book available or I'm busy in like other things. And then I have my second journal, which I write letters to people who maybe aren't receptive to me talking to them. So let's say that it's so and so and I cannot express in words to so and so whatever I'm feeling. I will write her a letter or write him a letter, and then so and so for me to give them if I want to, but if not, I did just let it out on paper. And then recently I actually started my 3rd journal, if you want to call it. I actually write down my prayers to God in a separate binder altogether. So I write down the prayer, and then once I'm done writing it down, I read it out loud to myself, and then I close the binder, and then I actually pray on it and pray further if I missed anything on my little note. And then whenever I find like an applicable verse of the Bible, I've actually been writing that down as well. So that's that. I do want to continue that in the new year. I actually forgot to write that, so I would say that's actually a successful goal right there. Number 3 was not accomplished, and that was begin going to dance classes, again based on affordability reasons and me taking care of the baby. There's just not really like a lot of dance studios in my city, and so I would have to go like really far, and given the car situation where I do not have a second car, it was a whole situation. But hopefully in the new year it'll be better. Number 4, read 3 books this year. So I did not read 3 books. I did read one completely, which was Man's Search for Meaning. I finished that in February 13th of 2024, and you're gonna think like, whoa, you finished that in February and in 10 months you couldn't read another book. Well, actually, so the 3rd book for sure wasn't done, but the 2nd book, I started reading another book, but then I kind of lost interest in it. I'm not really like fond of the writing of that person, but we'll see how things turn out in the new year. But the 2nd book that I'm actually reading / listening to is actually the Bible. So if you guys know, in this channel I announced that, not that I'm gonna be making Christian content on here, but it is important for me to recognize that God is in charge of everything, and God is in control of everything, and God is the reason and the only reason why I'm still here, alive, healthy, and being able to do these luxurious things, which are produce these content videos for you guys. And so I do want to recognize him, and I want to recognize the word, and I want to get closer to the word by taking time every single day to read a verse, to read a chapter, or listen to it. So I've been doing that. So I haven't finished, and it's almost mid-December. I do have quite a few books in the Old Testament that I want to finish listening to, and then I also have Revelations to finish, which is the last book of the New Testament, aka the last book of the Bible. I don't think I'm going to be able to do all that in the next 20 days, but nonetheless, it's something that I want to continue doing, and I'm very proud of myself for even getting basically all that read. Yes, I didn't actually physically read it, but the Bible, if you guys know, a lot of the Bibles are printed on very small fine print, and that's like really harsh on the eyes, I would say. Plus, depending on the version of the Bible that you get, it is a lot of like complicated English or whatever language that you get. And so I did just want to listen to it because I think I would be able to focus on reading the Bible or listening to the Bible better if I'm like, for example, doing the dishes or whatever it is. I'm able to do that better. And so yeah, So unfortunately, majority of my personal goals have not been accomplished in 2024, but now let's move on to the 2025 goals and see what I wrote down here. All right, so for my 2025 goals, again, for interpersonal, for health, and for socializing or social goals, first off, with weight and health, I do make content here on YouTube that focuses on being able to appreciate your body no matter what state or composition it's in. But also, realistically speaking, we do have to recognize that there are some health factors that get a little bit more complicated as you age if you don't take care of them when you're younger. One of them being weight. Not that I've ever put weight as the forefront of health. I've always said that I've always been a fat person and I'm very healthy, healthier than a lot of my skinnier counterparts. And even my husband, he's super skinny, fit and healthy nonetheless, but I can only imagine that on the inside I'm healthier. I'm just carrying more fat around me. But anyways, I did want to, goal number one, lose 10 pounds. I think that's actually less than 1 pound a month. And so I want to be able to do that. And along with that, I want to note my body fat percentage at the end of this year. That way by the end of next year in 2025, I am able to drop 3%. Now, I realistically don't know how much that is. I know that losing body fat cannot be targeted. I know that just like muscle gain, you cannot target muscle gain or weight loss. To be honest, you can work out and hope that you reduce or gain in certain areas versus others, but you cannot actually target that. Your body does its own thing when it comes to that. And not to say that, for example, if you do glute exercises, the muscles in your arms are going to be the ones growing. I'm not saying that. You can't target lose or target gain in certain areas. You cannot say that, oh, I would like to lose weight off my face, but then you end up losing in your arms and your belly. It's just kind of how your body does its thing. With that, I want to see realistically how much 3% body fat is. It may be doable because I do have a lot of body fat. Just being a fat person, I do have more to lose, and so it's easier to lose that way. If you were already somebody who's super skinny and low body fat, it may be more difficult because there's not much there to begin with. But realistically speaking, I don't know how much that visually would look like or where it would come off. And so I do want to, for sure, lose the 10 pounds. I think that's more than doable. And then drop the 3% body fat. I do have to consult my physician for that and see what can be done. Next, in terms of weight and health, it doesn't really have to do with me, but I couldn't find it in any other category. But I do want to register my daughter into swimming lessons, and I want to register my stepson in outdoor soccer for when the summer comes around. Instead of having him only in summer camp, I want to see how I'm able to do that with soccer because, well, more activity for the kid, and he loves soccer. His dad wants to get him in baseball, but we're not gonna do that. But I do find that him getting outdoors and practicing his favorite sport would be good for him. I just have to, again, that's a goal of mine. I'm not sure when it's gonna be done or if it's gonna be done, only because of cost reasons. But also the swimming lessons for my daughter, I do really want to get her involved in that, and not because I'm favoring my daughter over my stepson, that I do want to focus that more than his soccer. But realistically speaking, my stepson is in school. He is able to go to other people's houses to have fun with their kids or whatever it is, or my god family, they have like kids around his age and such, and so he is able to have fun in other ways. So if we don't get him to soccer, he still will have summer camp, and that in itself will get him, you know, out of the house, socializing, practicing his English and all that good stuff. Versus my daughter, I do want to emphasize swimming lessons are kind of important. Swimming, I feel like, is such an important skill to have, and not enough people have it, in my opinion. I get it that in Canada we don't have oceans and we don't have lakes all that often or very frequently or whatever, but God forbid you ever fall into a ravine, which are locally found in a lot of places like parks, walking spaces and such outdoors. God forbid you don't know how to swim and you fall into a deep enough one or a fast enough one that you are not able to rescue yourself or be able to keep yourself calm because you know how to swim and move yourself to the actual shore. So I feel like those are really important, especially for her age. I feel like it's better to start earlier than later. I personally started swimming when I was like 3 years old. I can't remember a time in my life when I wasn't swimming besides my adulthood because I don't have a membership here or anything. I only went into other sports because swimming wasn't that good here. Anyways, going back to my daughter, I do feel like it's really important to get her in swimming lessons ASAP, and it'll also help her with socializing with other people, socializing with other adults, other kids in the pool perhaps, and also develop a new life skill that is really super crucial for her learning and for her development and for her safety. And third, the most important, I think, well, not the most important, but a really important one when you get to like bedtime with your kids, it is really important for her to be tired at bedtime. And so if that can help her in that aspect as well, will help her, will help me, all good. Going on to the next category, which is social, my first goal is to once a week go out with friends or with my mom or with my brother or whoever to step away from mom and house responsibilities. So that comes with me actually putting in the time to ahead of time make plans with people. My therapist told me this year that a big reason why I might be upset a lot of times is because I'm constantly trapped in this house. I either work or take care of the baby or take care of my stepson or clean the house or I'm sleeping. And so because in between there, there's no time for actually me to have fun, and fun not like me going shopping for the house with my kid. It's literally time time and space for me to step away from my mom and my house responsibilities. That way, not only my husband can take care of those things, which he doesn't do because he's out of the house working, but I need to remember who I was as a person before being a mom. And not that I'm gonna be out partying and like drinking and all those things that I wasn't doing anyways before being a mom, but I think you guys get the idea. Things that did Maria before being a mom good, such as filming YouTube videos or whatever, but this is specifically getting out of the house. That way I don't have a little one crying and me take care of her. Her dad can take care of her. The dishes are piling up, I don't have to take care of that. My husband can take care of that, you know what I'm saying? And so it'll be good for me. And realistically with that, like I said here, I did like a little asterisk to plan these out ahead of time. That way there's no excuse. It's in the agenda, it's on paper. I have this time with my friend in 3 weeks. I have this time with my other friend in 5 weeks. Like there's no excuse. There's a time, there's a date, there's a hopefully a place, and then hopefully there's no cancellations last minute. But even if there are, at least I did my effort of trying to do that. And so that's the goal for that. That's the only really social goal that I have, because the other category which I have, which are hobbies and other, like miscellaneous, I guess, goals that don't necessarily have a category, those ones will actually have some social aspect to it. So here I have to start going to dance or to Zumba 2 or 3 times a month. So I did that because along with health and weight purposes, that will actually help me get more active and get out of the house and all those things. Not only will that help that, but I may also make some friends along the way. And also realistically speaking, I can budget towards that. If it's only twice a month, I think that's definitely doable depending on the place that you go to. I do have to play around with the numbers. Hopefully that works out, but I did set out a realistic goal to hopefully be able to meet a month. Next, I have get into Zoom or online classes for acting. If you guys are aware, I am part of an acting agency, which hasn't done me very well, to be honest, but I do want to continue pursuing acting and modeling, if such. More acting is because it gets my creative side out. So I want to be able to get into free workshops or classes online. That way I am able to like learn from the industry professionals, whether casting directors or other actors or producers or whatever it is, what's expected in this industry and stuff. And so it's something that I want to get into more heavily. Like I said, the agency that I'm with on a non-exclusive contract, they haven't really done me any well. In like a 2-year period, I've only gone like really 2 auditions. And so that's very poor for the fact that, like, you know, I'm a very commonly looked at type of face that people want to see online, like a white long hair female with like blue eyes especially. I know that people are moving more towards using POC, which I definitely applaud that, because back in the day there was no POC in commercials, in posters and stuff like that that you see in billboards and such, restaurants, buildings, etc. And so I'm very happy for that group of people to be able to get that. But 2 auditions in 2 years is not reflective of me being submitted to a lot of stuff, I would think. I want to explore getting onto online classes to be able to learn a little bit more about the industry, so I'm able to self-submit a lot of other projects for myself. And with that, get a new set of headshots and find a background agency, because I feel like maybe foreground or principal work is maybe not in the books for me, given the fact that I'm a mom. Maybe I can explore that avenue a little bit later on in my life, but being able to be in the background of something will maybe be able to help me get that creative outlet out. Although I'm going to be in the background, I'm not going to be paid as much as a principal or a lead role. I'm not going to be paid as much because I'm not in the camera as often, literally in the background. And so I understand that comes with pay cut when it comes to being a principal versus a background. But again, not that I was a principal with the agency that I'm in right now. It really sucks to reflect on that, but it is what it is. And so I'm planning on getting new headshots to hopefully be in more stuff, self-submit more, and then be able to find a background agency for myself. And the last category that I have here are random goals, goals that really didn't have to do with other categories here. So I do have written down that I want to read 2 books this year. So instead of doing 3, which is, I hate reading, to be honest, I just know that it's good for the body. So that's why I tell myself that I'm going to read books. But instead of doing 3, I'm going to do 2. I have little arrows here to write down the name of the book and when I finish it. And so that's that. And that's not going to include the Bible, because I'm really hoping that by listening to it, it's going to be an extra source of knowledge that I got from that. But it's not within the 2 books that I told myself that I'm going to read this year. So that's that. And then another random goal that I wrote here, which is the last one, is to find a modeling or acting or background agency for my daughter, because I do feel like she's a very pretty kid. This is not something that I'm going to focus on for financial reasons. I feel like it's pretty clear that if you're a good parent, you don't want your child to be suffering in an industry that is very detrimental to their health if they are taken a little bit too seriously for work. I don't want my child to be unhappy with reflecting back on her life when she's like 25 or something. Like a lot of kid actors who have already grown up, they've reflected on the fact that the industry treats them very poorly and they demand a lot of working hours and perfection from them, and they're only still kids. I don't want that for my daughter. I do want her to be able to get social with other people and hopefully be comfortable around a camera. That way, if projects do ever pop up every once in a while or however frequently they come, you don't have to also accept every single project that comes from an agency if you are either submitted by them or request to be submitted by them to a project that you see online. But it would be good for her to get social. She is a very beautiful child. Like I said, I'm not posting her anywhere on social media for her safety and also because of other reasons that I don't want to share right now, but I've shared in other videos. I can bring it up another time later, but for now I do want to be able to have her in that, because also if that can bring some income towards her RESP, which is the Registered Education Savings Plan for everybody here in Canada. Yeah, get them started early. Plus yeah, if she can be in a commercial without that being associated that's my daughter for safety reasons, like I said, because again I don't post her anywhere, and that'll be good. And that's about it, guys. I went through all my goals that I have for 2025 and I reflected on 2024 goals that I had last year or this year. Whatever worked, whatever didn't work. I'm hoping that the fact that I'm able to see these goals visually, I'm able to set them, and because I do have that like mid-year check-in portion of the page, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to have to adjust some things. It'll be nice to be able to do that. And so yeah, I just want to close on that. Like I said prior, check out my financial channel, which will be linked somewhere up here on the screen and downstairs in the description box. I will be talking about my 2025 goals, all relevant to finances, and then I'll also be reflecting on my 2024 goals. If you did enjoy the channel and you think somebody will benefit from it, not only share the video with them, but also leave me a comment. That way the community grows, and if you guys have any other questions that I may have missed on this video, it definitely will help like spread the word and people are able to help each other in the comments and such. Do that if you're curious, and of course give me a like if you really enjoyed the video. Besides that, guys, my socials are just down here if you guys want to check me out on any other social platform. And like I said before, make it a goal for yourself to be able to write down your goals for the new year. That way you are able to stick to them and we can keep each other accountable in the comments. If you want to let me know downstairs in the comments some of your goals that you have for the new year, please write them downstairs so I'm able to look at them, and then we can comment on each other's goals and just be able to reflect at the end of the year on those comments that you may have. Do that thing, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever it is that you are setting out for yourself, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. And so that's the verse of the day. Once again, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, guys, keep up the awesome, never change. I'll see you guys next time. Dios me los bendiga. God bless you guys, and ItzMariaVicz out.